Ah. Oh, that's comfy. Move that away first. Oh. I just looked at the frame, it's a little bit out. So I'll pull that in and fix it. And there we go. So give me a second, guys, I'm back here. I'm getting ready. Here we go. All right. Okay. What's up, guys? I'm Jake the Lawn Kid. Welcome to another episode of Lawnfires, where the lawns are green and the fires are hot and the questions are great. Anyway, I'm still working on that intro. I'm sure you guys get it. I'm just trying to develop some footing here with this new series I'm doing, especially making it more of an intimate series with the fire and everything. So, what's up, everybody? What's going on? Anyway, that's what it is. So, let me see who's in the chat here. What's up, Connor? What's up, Striperman? What's up, Jason? What's up, Nathan? What's up, everybody? Oh. Jake, if Connor says, if Jake X, Kylie X up, let me know. I'm really good at internet bullying. I'll let you know, buddy. Alright. Lawnfires, that's right. So, I don't have a lot to talk about tonight, except majorly that what's in the chat, so I'm happy to answer your questions. But there is one thing I want to talk to you guys about, and that is I recently had somebody email me a question about their lawn, and one of the issues they were having was that the lawn it's a new lawn. They just moved in, and because of that, I'm guessing the previous owner probably didn't do much to it, and because of that, the lawn's just in terrible shape, right? If anything, it's got at least 20% grass in it. The other 80% is weeds, crabgrass, bare spots, things like that. So the question I got from this guy was, okay, well, what can I do as the first step of the 2019 lawn season? And I told him, and I wouldn't to just anybody, but I told him, hey, because your situation is so unique, and because it is a new property, and because you're starting in the spring, right, I recommend you do a spring seeding. Now, I know what a lot of you guys are going to say about that. Well, why would you want to do a spring seeding when you have to get your pre-emergent down? Isn't that going to disrupt that? And the answer is no, because I recommended to him a product that he can use. It contains active ingredient. It's called Scott's Lawn Food and Weed Preventer, and it contains active ingredient methotrone, which allows you to prevent the problem grasses such as crackgrass and other things. And in conjunction, it also allows you to feed the new grass seed that you put down. Now, do I recommend that on a regular basis? No. But for this guy's situation, since he emailed me recently and he wants to get started on his lawn this spring, I get it. I told him just go ahead, get down that pre-emergent with the methotrone, aka tenacity, which a lot of you guys are familiar with. Get that down at the application rate, and in addition to that, seed the lawn heavy because it's a new lawn, right? And then I also recommended to him, because one of the biggest issues I find in lawns like this, especially bigger, is that they're harder to manage with irrigation. So what I told him was, how about instead of seeding the entire lawn this spring, at least get your pre-emergent down, the methotrone that comes from the Scott's product, put that down, and then only work on areas that you can manage as far as goes. So if you have like a small section in the front that you're willing to water 15 minutes twice a day, then you should be just fine. So So I just wanted to kind of, you know, throw that in there to get some discussion going here in the comments and to tell you guys what I've been up to, because that has been a common question I've been getting this week about spring seeding, so I figured I would go ahead and answer it. I guess with that, I'm going to go ahead and read the chat here and see who's in here. Fireside chat, what's up, Connor? Tell me about it, Connor. Man, that fire is nice. I am working in St. Croix right now, so it's a little warm for a fire. Yes, I have to admit, it is a little warm, but here in Indiana, it's like 18 degrees, and because of that, I couldn't be any more fortunate. It's a perfect scenario. Are you planning on an advertisement video at all? Yeah, maybe sometime. Lush Lawns, don't get him going. What do you think about soil tests? I think a soil test is a great idea. It gives you more insight to what you're dealing with and what you need to compensate for in your lawn care program. In fact, I actually recently had a commenter talk to me about putting down a about doing a soil test, and he was like, Jake, you know, I saw your video that you did about your program, pretty awesome, but you forgot to talk about a soil test. A soil test is important, and you know, he mentioned all that stuff. It is, and I couldn't agree more. It is important. It gives you an idea of where the soil pH is at, where you may be at with other nutrients, what you have enough of, what you're overabundant with, what you are deficient in. So I'm definitely going to plan on doing a soil test here in the spring to see what I'm dealing with. And then from there, I'm going to go ahead and start with my applications, and I might change them if I have to adjust them accordingly to my situation. So if you're, I don't know what your name is, bud, but if you're watching this, that answers your question. I promise I do plan on doing a soil test this year. What's up, Ryan? Cool to see you can make it, man. Awesome, man. Thank you so much for tuning in. What was the name of the Scott's product for a new lawn with weed preventer? I believe it's called Lawn Food and Weed Preventer. You can find it on Amazon or Scott's website. Just look up Mezzotrione on Amazon and it should come up. Or you can type in Scott's Weed Preventer plus Lawn Food and it should come up. And and in case you're looking for a specific label, it says it feeds up to 6 weeks or something like that. So just look for that product and you should be just fine. Alright. Man, already? 6 minutes in, the fire's... God, look at it. Yeah, look at that. Oh. About to put another piece on here in a minute. There we go. All right. Let's see what's going on in the chat here. Huh. Your rye will turn a little white with Mezzotrione. Yeah, it might, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to take here, because if at least it's going to turn it white, but it's not necessarily going to leave any long-term damage. Now, I'm willing to take that because my lawn is mostly Kentucky bluegrass. I'm not worried about it. So I'll put that application down and you should be just fine. Now, I typically wouldn't do this, but because I recommended it to somebody who wants to seed their lawn this spring, that was the approach that I gave them, and that's one of the cheapest approaches you can use that's affordable and actually works without damaging your lawn. So that's all that was. I don't plan on putting Mezzotrione on my lawn, in fact, because of the white color, but because in the situation of the guy that I was talking to and emailing with, corresponding back and forth, that was what he wanted to do, so I adjusted my program accordingly to his situation. So that's all that was. Rain in California, yeah, man. it's funny here in the north when it's not cool, it's wet. When it's not wet, it's cool. That's how it is up here. But I'll tell you what, great time for firewood though. It's when it starts to dry out a little bit. Are you planning to expand your businesses at all? Yes. Yes. So if you don't already know, I actually have a 12-foot box trailer, and in addition to that, I have my '96 Suburban, and I have 12 clients right now. I'm looking to double that to 24 or possibly 30 here in the 2019 lawn season, and possibly, just expand my route density. That's my goal this year. Oh, Don Klein asks, what are your thoughts on concerning Green Punch and Carbon X? I bought a year's worth of Green Punch, and now all I hear about is Carbon X, feeling I should have waited. Yeah, so from what I'm hearing, they're both really good products. You should be just fine with the Green Punch. The Green Punch is I actually kind of prefer that a little bit because it is a liquid, and one of the things I like about liquids is that when they feed your lawn in two different ways. Number one, they feed your lawn via foliar, which are the leaves of the plant, because when you spray it on there, it starts to absorb through the leaves. And in addition to that, it's also feeding downward into the soil. It's feeding the soil. It's helping improve the overall quality of your soil. So it's pretty much, you're killing two birds with one stone and when it comes to liquids. So I really like that. Now, am I against Carbon X? No, absolutely not. In fact, when I get my batch, I have some ideas that I'm going to be doing for it in my backyard here. I have a little test plot that I'm going to be doing here, especially with some Green Punch and some other products back there. Stay tuned for that if you coming later. But anyway, the idea is I have nothing bad to say about Carbon X. You want to go with Carbon X, go with Carbon X. You want to go with Green Punch, go with Green Punch. It's all about what works for you. They each have their own unique benefits and drawbacks. So I take it you feel the same about tenacity as it is the same active? Yes. Now, like I said, I like that product, that it gives you that flexibility of seeding and applying crabgrass pre-emergent in the spring, but that's not something I typically recommend just because of the complication that comes with it. Like, one commentator in here said that from experience, it turned his grass brown, or not brown, brown. It turned a little bit white, and that's one of the problems you're going to get with tenacity and mesotrione, is that it will turn things white after a while, so you have to keep that in mind. But eventually, I'm sure it'll wear off with proper cultural practices, mowing, irrigation, fertilizing, things like that. Snow is falling in mid-Missouri. Is there an ice melt for driveway and sidewalks that won't hurt the lawn? Yes. There's actually this one. I actually mentioned it in a video last year. It's a product by Roadrunner, and the active ingredient is magnesium chloride. And the biggest reason a lot of people face issues with the biggest reason a lot of people face damage with salt is because they're mostly going to buy a calcium-based salt. And when it comes to calcium is a strong macro, if you will, and because of that, it will create some damage when it's over-applied to your lawn. So the magnesium will just, it's right in the middle. It's going to melt that salt down to the bare bone. It's going to melt that salt down to the bare bone, but it's not going to hurt your lawn. But one of the drawbacks to it is because of that, it doesn't have as low of a melting point or as the calcium products do. But great product if you're concerned about getting rid of your lawn. In fact, hey Ryan, if you want, go to Amazon and type in Roadrunner magnesium chloride and leave a link for that in the chat. It's a blue bag with a Roadrunner on it, from the old cartoons. If you can leave that link in there for what's this guy's name, Jason, I really appreciate that. That way he could get his hands on this product. It's a good product, not going to hurt anything. It'll melt the ice. So you're kind of killing two birds with one stone there. JC, what's up, man? How's winter been for me? Oh, it's been pretty good. I'll admit it, I'm kind of tired of sitting around inside all the time, but I can't complain when I got a beautiful fire here, So it's not that bad. Wasn't there a Consumer Electronics show in Vegas last week? I don't know. Was there? You could spike it with triclopyr trichoplyr with methotrone and it will not turn the grass white, but you can't use it for new seeding. Yeah, so I guess it's kind of a give and take there, right? Is that with the product, with methotrone, if you put this mix in there to prevent the white, you can't seed in conjunction with it. So it's kind of a give and take there. It's either, are you willing to seed and deal with a little bit of white color, or are you willing to not seed and just put down the methotrone? Which, if you're willing to go that route, I wouldn't even do it. I'd put down prodiamine and be done with it. Hello from the dark side of the moon. What's going on, Brick T26? Brandon, hey Jake, I expected to get 8 to 12 inches of snow in southern Illinois. Is it okay to walk on the snow-covered lawn? No, because when you have snow on the lawn, you walk on it, that can cause damage because it distributes your foot incorrectly, and plus the ground is frozen, the crowns are all brittle, and when you walk on them, that just makes it more vulnerable to dying. What's up, Alan? What's going on, dude? Glad you could make it. We're just getting started here, chilling by the fire. Hope you're enjoying yourself. That's the whole idea with this, right? Is I'm trying to make this more of an intimate setting. I don't like just sitting at the computer all the time. So I know, Alan, you'll appreciate this, buddy. I know you appreciate the intimate background. Brick26, Brandon, you should be ripping it up with a snowmobile at that point. Used tenacity for the first time last fall, and it amazed how much what I think of the bent grass. And it was amazed what I think of the bent grass. My tenacity did not affect even with 2 applications in the fall. Yeah, so I guess it does have that slight color change, but it does cause that slight color change, but it's not going to hurt anything. Oh, and don't make Ryan work too hard. Don't worry, I'm not. In fact, I didn't even ask him to tune in tonight. He tuned in himself. But I'm glad he did. Jake, are you on your Mac or your phone? I'm on my phone. I don't have a Mac. All I have is a desktop, and because of that, I'm relegated to shooting this on my phone. Otherwise, I'd be out here with a giant ass desktop. Everything okay here? Oh, look at that. Anything else here? All right. One second. Feels great. Let me turn that over. Yeah, this is gonna start snap, crackle, popping even more in a minute. Let's turn this over. That's all I gotta do. Man. It is hot. So you know you made a good one. Alright. That should be good enough for now. If I have to mess with it later, I will. But I need to do that. Look at that. Now, this is a fireside chat. Hold on. Let's move a little back here. What are your thoughts on gardening and lawn care after dark? Well, if you enjoy it, you should do it. It's not going to hurt anything. I'm not going to burn the house down. Come on, Al, you've been here. We've had fires like this all the time. I get what he's saying, though. I'm not the best at building fires. I mean, I try, but I got all the water out of the way. I got all the papers and stuff out of the way. I got water right here in case something goes wrong. I may have clogged. Yeah, I remember. The good old days. I sure hope my local Menards keeps up on the Morganite demand this spring. Yeah, me too. In fact, that's actually part of why I switched to full liquid this year is because I'm not gonna I'm not gonna go to the store bent over backwards just to find Milorganite. It's crazy, and not only that, I have like a whole shelf of Next products in my garage because I have that exclusive with them. I'm making videos for them, and just overall great products. So I'm happy for that. So I decided that I would like to try something new and just go full on Next products because I'm not paying for them, so I can't complain. But just because I'm not paying for them, that doesn't mean I'm going to be all. That doesn't mean I want to be all environmentally irresponsible and things like that. I want to be a little bit more reason. I want to use a little more reason this year. To show you guys how I would go about it if I had to save any money. Carbon X this year, maybe Milo once or twice. Yeah, about the Carbon X and the Milo, I actually have a couple test plots I'm going to be doing in the backyard because one of the plans I have for my front yard, because I've been doing nothing but hammering it with nitrogen these past couple years, is I'm going for more of a lower nitrogen program, right? Because last year I averaged out at about 3.66 pounds of nitrogen. That's almost 4 pounds of nitrogen. I feel like that's way too much, especially after listening to lawncologist John Perry talk about it, how he's like, you can sustain beauty in a lawn just by going lower and building the soil. So that's my approach that I want to go for this year, is more of a carbon-based fertility program. Low nitrogen inputs, doses of the micros, just balancing things out, building the soil. You guys get what I'm trying to say. So overall, this is just an experiment I'm going to try on my front lawn this year, and we're going to see how it goes. Now, as far as the backyard, I have some experiments I want to do back there. Like, I actually want to do Milorganite, and I have a section that I want to do like Milorganite and green punch head and head. So I could do like a liquid versus granular, organic, synthetic fertilizer. And then I have another section of my backyard that I plan on doing Carbon X, as well as maybe another half. I'll probably do Milo back there just to see the side-by-side comparison. So I just want to, I want to do like a little bit more comparisons, and that way I can make some more content about the products and just see how it treats the soil back there on its own. In fact, I also have another area that I think I'm going to go with zero nitrogen, because one of the things that John Perry preaches about it's not necessarily to stop applying nitrogen completely, but there have been studies where he has done in his own yard where he's treated his yard nitrogen free, and it turned out really good. And I just want to see how it treats my backyard back there. I know it's probably going to grow a little slower, but I just want to see how that soil turns out. Milo always on Memorial Day, though. Yes. On the test plot. Carbon X is going to change fertilizer on its head. Yes. Yeah, one of the things I like about Carbon X is that, unlike most products that they make nowadays, like Scott's products or pre-emergents, they have fillers in those products to kind of help distribute the weight correctly of the pellets, so that when you're spreading them, they come out even. But what I like about this new product, Carbon X, is that I believe that all of it, if not a majority of the pellet, is contains humates, nitrogen, macros, micros, the whole 9 yards. So I think that's really cool that you're actually taking all that space and filling it up with nothing but nutrients that are going to benefit your grass plant. So that's pretty cool. The Bears. Memorial Day wouldn't be the same. But like I said, I'm not getting rid of it completely, but I want to try some new things, or maybe I might even have a section on my yard that I might do Milo, and the other will be green punch. Dennison, good at soil. Good soil, strong roots. Yes. Is it better to do a soil test at the beginning or the end of the season? Now, you could do a soil test whenever you want. There's only there's actually two hard and fast rules. Number one, don't do it when the ground is frozen. You're not going to get any luck. And number two, don't do it after a fertilizer application, because that's going to screw up your results completely, because those pellets contain all of the nutrients that you possibly lacked, and because of that, when you get your soil test back, it's going to skyrocket through the roof. And one more thing I forgot to add in is that John Perry talks about this. Make sure you get no roots, no thatch in there, just straight soil humus, which is the dark, the black, just the plain soil by itself. Get that in a container, ship it off, and it should come back and you get your results. Now, I personally would do it before the season and after the season to get an idea of where I sit now. And then at the end of the season, after say this low nitrogen program or this high nitrogen program or whatever nitrogen program you're on, I would do it at the end of the season to see how your lawn benefited or possibly detrimented based on your applications. So both the beginning and the end of the year, or you can even test in the middle of the season to see where you stand, like in the summer when you want to apply iron. Great time to check. All this lawn talk is getting me pumped for spring. However, we are about to get a snowstorm within 15 hours. Yeah, us too. They're predicting, I forgot what they're predicting, like 9 inches or something here in Indiana. I kind of like it. I hope I could break my snowblower out and use that for the first time, because I haven't. It snowed. We've had power outages. Pretty funny, right? But it hasn't been bad enough to a point where I could break out the snow thrower. Doesn't make sense, but half the power outages are coming from idiots on the road anyway. Any plans on installing an irrigation system? Not a legit irrigation system, but I think I'm going to experiment with the Ryan Norris style irrigation system around my yard to help with coverage and things like that, especially with this test plot I'm going to be doing in the back. So as far as irrigation, that's what I plan on doing right now. I need to get on Amazon, get the materials here, and do a video on that pretty soon, get that ready. So stay tuned for that coming up sometime here in the next month or so. So using standalone RGS apps will be redundant when using CarbonX. Yes, because CarbonX contains RGS. Now, you want that extra leg up, it shouldn't be a problem, but I wouldn't recommend it if it already has RGS. In fact, Greene County's coming out with this new build-a-box where you can build your combos and things, like depending on your situation, maybe you need some dethatch, aerate, or microgreen, green effect, things like that. You can build a package for yourself based on your situation. In the past we had like soil activator pack, biostimulant, so I think this is going to be really nice as it'll allow you to customize your order based on your situation. This snow gives me a good reason to drink beer at home. Ha! Yeah. If it snows to an extent, will you bring your snowblower so you can record? Yes. Yeah, Alan's right there about RGS. You would use it out of your typical apps, because when we're going to put it on RGS, say in a bare spot or an area in our lawn that's completely depleted as far as root growth goes, we don't always need the CarbonX to be mixed with it. Sometimes we just need the raw RGS by itself. So, great point he made there. Like I said, it's probably going to become a little redundant, but it's a good idea to keep it in your arsenal. So, thanks for pointing that out, Alan. Looking to get a new spreader. I've seen you're using a spiker. Are you a fan? Yes, I have nothing but good things to say about it. Hey. What's going on? What are you doing? That's my sister Cassidy. She just got back from basketball. Yeah. So not the other one, not Kylie. So Connor, if you're watching this, don't worry. It's Cassidy, not the bad one, the good one. Just playing around. All these people and their inside jokes, it's the best. Check out the Rainbird easy to install installation kit. have it, and it actually works pretty good if you pre-plan it right. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. What's it called? Installation kit. Checking, bro. What's up, everybody? Won't be able to stay on too long. Gotta shovel some snow. Yeah, man. Go help your neighbors and those in need, guys. Yep, that's right. Pay it forward, as our buddy Rodney Smith would say. Late to the party. What's up, Jake? Hello from Maine. How you doing, Jay Drobby? Yeah. Did I miss any flights? No, not tonight. We got that worked out. Man, that fire is starting to look a little dim here. Let me go turn these lights off. Get another log on this fire. There we go. All right. Where was I? Lawn Restore with no Milo around? Yes. Yes, that's a great product, especially because it provides potassium. And that's actually one of the things I have with Milorganite and why I recommend you supplement with products like Ringer or Green Punch 1801 or Microgreen 002 is because while Milorganite's a great fertilizer, it's not a complete fertilizer because it doesn't contain potassium. And so if you're going to use it, be prepared that there are going to be some times during the summer where you're going to want to supplement with some micronutrients, some other micronutrients, as well as some potassium. Man, it's hot over here. I'm going to scoot back a little bit. Jake, great content as always, but I gotta go. Thank you, Lush Lawns, for tuning in. I appreciate it. If it wasn't for people like you, I wouldn't be here today. So thank you very much for supporting me, and we'll see you next week, or possibly in the comments section again for this Sunday's video. You guys getting any snow up in Indiana, Jake? We have 3 inches here so far. Supposed to get 12. Yeah, I believe we're about to get 9 inches or so tomorrow. How's it going, Jake? Jorma. What's going on, Jorma? Could you talk about your thoughts on use in Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts? Would love to hear some specific info for us. Yes, so if you live in that northeast region, you're going to have similar grass types to what we Midwestern folk have. But again, because you live up further north, you're probably going to end up starting a few weeks. So as far as when to start messing with your lawn, do it when the soil, once the soil reaches about 55, 60 degrees, that's when we want to start our first application of crabgrass pre-emergent, and then as far as other applications like the Milo and whatnot, we'll follow up. We'll have our starter fertilizer 3-4 weeks later, and then from there we'll start applying Milo every 4 weeks at a little bit lower of a rate, but more frequently, so spoon feeding, if you will. So same things I recommend here because, you know, same grass types but different area. I get it. So you're gonna have similar climates, so nothing too different. So as far as you guys go, don't worry. There's not a big difference between us, so anything that I'm doing a video on here could correlate to you, but it'll probably be a few weeks in advance for you guys. For me, because I live in an area like the Midwest. How much is it going to be? Not much. I'm going to be live tonight around 10 or 10:30. Try to come on. Yeah, I'll try to come on. Lawn Guardian. What's up, LCN? Anything else? We got about another good 25 minutes here. What's up, Jake? How's it going? LCN, I see you tonight. Yeah, I'm doing great, Shane. Thank you for asking. Man, it's like one of those things, you know, like I don't really plan these out. You know, normally I talk about what's going on in the chat, and half the time, like, the chat will just stop because I'll catch up completely, and it's like you're having a conversation. It's kind of like awkward silence, but through the phone, if you will. What's up, Jake? What info do you know about Carbon X from Next? Be a good starter for the spring. I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will. It contains the three elements, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and it also gives you a good dose of the micros. I would recommend it in the same sense that I would recommend using Green Punch as a starter fertilizer because it contains 14% urea and 4% ammonium. So I believe you should be just fine to use that for the spring. Aerate replacing mechanical aeration. Yes, I've actually went all liquid this year on my front lawn as far as aeration and dethatch, and so far I have nothing but good to say about it because there's so many other benefits that products besides what they're made to do. Number one, they contain humic acid, and because of that, it's just going to chelate those nutrients, make them more available to the plant. And in addition, it's also going to give you a dose of potassium. Now keep in mind, it's not a big amount, it's just a supplement, but enough to get you through the summer and keep your lawn looking really good, especially during drought. Do you chop your own firewood, and how much do you burn in a season? Yes, I chop my own firewood. In fact, my dad and I, the neighbor and my dad, they go to a local tree farm. I don't know what it's called, but we have a whole thing of wood we get, and we usually put it up against this wall here, and if we need to chop it for kindling, we will. But yeah, as far as chopping, we do chop them in half, and we stack them all over here. So as far as how much in a whole season, because I usually have this whole wall filled with wood right here, it takes me about a season to burn about half of it, or a little more than that, depending on the snow year. It hasn't been that bad this year, but so not a lot. But as you can see, we're running pretty low back there because we haven't had a chance to go to the tree farm lately because of all the rain and whatnot. So we just need to look for a dry day here where we can find some wood, and we should be all right. I scheduled one, so I hope to see you there. Yeah, I'll try and tune in, Jorman. Shane, where's the pizza? Did you eat it all again? No, I don't have any pizza tonight. I wish I did. I probably should have made one. I'm going to make one after this is over. Hey man, love the content. Would you say the biostimulant pack is the first step to the next products? I'd say that's more of like a way to keep the soil going. I recommend you start off with the soil activator pack, especially in the spring, because what it offers you is aerate, dethatch, RGS, and green effect. And you definitely want the aerate and the dethatch in the spring to help clear the thatch and dig down in that soil to help create some quality topsoil for yourself that'll be able to compensate for those deeper roots that we're going to be pushing with the RGS. So I definitely recommend starting off with a soil activator, and then as you progress throughout the year, maybe a biostimulant pack to which will provide you microgreen, humic 12, aerate, and RGS to help get some more humic into the soil, as well as some micros and more potassium, which is what we want to focus on during the summer. Thanks, Jay, for the response. Ryobi just put out fogger advertising. You can fog weed killer fungicides. Thoughts on fogging on weed killers, etc. Yeah, I've never heard of that. I've never heard about that. So I guess as far as fogging your weed control, if it has to be spot sprayed, I wouldn't do it. You want it out of the sprayer so that you can spot spray and hit the areas you need to hit. Because weed controls, you don't need a blanket application. Now, they're probably experimenting with that, I don't know. we'll have to dig deeper into that and see what's going on, but I can't give you a definite answer. But as far as spot spraying, I probably wouldn't do it. But again, I have to look at it and see what I'm dealing with. How is your truck, Drake? It is great, man. I love that thing so much now. I do need to get it back. My grandma's been borrowing it all week. I said that last week, but I need to get it back. Nick R. Jake, are you going to meet up with Connor and Ryan this weekend? No, I'm not. I wish I was. I live near Iowa, but not that close, and because of that I'm not traveling out. But I will see Ryan at Lawncology, because that's right, I am going to Lawncology Summit in February. I'm going to be there with Alan Hain, Jeremy the Greener Lawn, Ryan Knorr, Pete GCI Turf's going to be there. All the top dogs here in the community. Looking forward to getting together with them again, having some dinners, having some real life conversation. I'm really looking forward to that. What kind of backpack sprayer would you recommend? Well, there's only one I can recommend to you because I used it, and that is the Sprayers Plus 105EX. That's like the top of the line professional model you can get. It's battery powered and everything. And if you want, I actually have an affiliate code. I left it in the description of last week's video. If you missed it, I left you an affiliate code where you can pick up a sprayer for a little cheaper than the normal price. So great investment. It'll last you a while. Nick D, what's up, brother? What's going on, Nick? Ratchet says, Rashid. Yeah, Rashid, I remember you. Don't worry, I didn't forget how to pronounce your name. It's been a while. I got it now. Rashid. Great to see you keeping these going. Yes, like I said, one of my goals is to increase the engagement. So I really want to keep doing this. I'm having fun with it. And that's all that matters. Gotta go shovel the snow, Jake. Sorry I can't stay longer. Hit me up. About to be doing a live stream together soon. You have my email. Have a great weekend. Yes, you too, Lawn Guardian. Thank you so much. We'll do something. Did you miss my question about sample depths? Soil tests. Wait, sample tests? Oh. Yeah, hold on. Is 4 inches about right for soil samples, if you could? Yeah, about that 3 to 4 inch range, as long as you're right below the soil. In fact, I believe John Perry recommends that you go about 5 to 6. Just get down as deep as you can and get a good, layer of soil humus. Get that in there and ship it off, and you should be fine. Jake, how did you get interested in lawn care? It all started. It all started with when I was little, I just loved mowing my yard. And then once I got to a point where I was telling my family, like, hey, I love mowing lawns to a certain extent where I never want to step away from it, they suggested to me, well, hey, you should consider starting a lawn business. And so I did. And after 4 years of doing it, here I am with a truck and a trailer that I'm really looking forward to breaking into this year and expanding. I've also got a new lawn tractor and a really nice push mower that I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen, the Snapper High Vac. And so yeah, it all started with a childhood interest in me just mowing the lawn in my free time. Like when I was a kid, it was my favorite thing to do. I'd come home, push mow the yard, and I'd enjoy every moment of it. And as far as the video side of things, all of that started with the influence of my former neighbor and still best friend to this day, Alan Hain, the lawn care nut. He lived next to me. He taught me everything I know, if not everything, a majority of what I know about lawn care. So a lot of what I know today, I contribute to him. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be as educated as I am today. So I thank him for that, and I just love the fact that I have a friendship like that that is pure gold. So if you're watching this, Alan, I appreciate you. Did I miss anything? Fertilized during the winter. I'm in South Texas. Don't Depends. Are you above or below the frost line? If you live near the coast, you can get away with it just fine, but just keep it in very low doses. Now, at this time, I would focus on, I wouldn't focus on applying too much nitrogen, but just enough that you need, so about maybe a quarter to a half pound, and just letting that sit until temperatures come back to normal in the spring, and then you can start pushing it again. Happy Friday later. Thank you, Anthony, for tuning in. I appreciate you. Think I'm getting a Toro Time Master. Yeah, I can't give you my input on that. I've never had one, but from what I've heard, it's a great machine. Corey Fitzpatrick. I live in Mishawaka, Indiana, next to South Bend, so I'm definitely looking forward to the tips and advice on the upcoming season. Thank you very much, Corey. Appreciate your support. This technology event, is it by invite only? So the way I believe it goes is we have the pro teachings that go on the first 3 days, and then the last day, which is that Friday night, is when we're going to have like a homeowner DIY get together meetup where you could talk to me, you could talk to Alan, you could talk to John, you could talk to Pete. All of us are going to be there. Ryan Knorr is going to be there. So yeah, all of us are going to be there. It'd be a great opportunity to talk. Now, as far as that goes, I believe it's limited to 50 people. So John and Alan will be giving you the details on that very soon. So if you want to go, there might be an opportunity that you will be able to. We've still got about 5 or 6 weeks before the actual event itself. Now, keep in mind, I'm saying all of this off the top of my head, so I'm not 100% sure, but I believe it's a limited invite. But from what I heard, it's a limited invite, and I believe it's about 50 people. Grass seed. Can I do one type TTF via peat and expect good results up in the Northeast with proper treatment? Yes, it's a cool season grass. It'll do well in cool season environments. Just mow it tall and you'll be fine too. Hey Jake, 104 in Australia today. Wow. Let me get some wood on this. How many minutes are we at here? Yeah, we got about 10 more minutes. If you guys want to hang out a little bit longer, we can do that. I know I say 5 to 6. That's like my minimum though. That's as long as I plan to make the streams. Thank you, sir, for the info. You're welcome. Did mowing lower and often help your quackgrass? I'm in Minnesota and have the same problem. Would order not to kill it off and start over. Yes, it worked really well. Now, I actually talked about this in my year in review video. While it did not suppress the problem while it didn't abolish it completely, it did suppress it. Especially if you continue to mow often like that and you mow lower than normal. In this case, I kept mine at 5 inches and I mowed every 2 days. It looked good. Now, because I was mowing every 2 days, though, the biggest problem I did have was I did have a little bit of the thatch buildup, and that's where the dethatch came in handy for that. Really love the 2018 overview vid. Helpful and interesting. Thank you, appreciate it. What a G going in bare hand in the fireplace. Yeah, man. We're real men around this house, if you don't know that. I like busting balls. I get that from my dad. Cameron Cash. Last question. Everyone says mow tall. I mowed last year at 4 inches, and about half of my lawn grass had trouble standing tall. Should I drop the mower down a notch? Yes. So if you're dealing with a grass type if you're dealing with a grass type that's not known for rigidity, like for instance ryegrass or bluegrass, the tips are just too fine. They're not going to stand tall. I recommend you knock your height down, especially in the summer, which is the peak of mowing height. Start cutting it at 3.5 inches. So you typically cut it at the tallest setting. Knock your mower down to 3.5 inches, and I promise you'll see a drastic improvement. And also, make sure you're mowing often. Like me, I went crazy and I mowed every 2 days. While I understand that's not manageable, I believe mowing twice or 3 times a week is. Just keep on top of it, and I promise you, you will see drastic improvement in how your lawn looks. Peace, bro. Thank you, Nick, for tuning in. I appreciate it.
She said she was gonna see you in the morning if you guys wanted to.
Mike Malikin, thank you. You're welcome. Grass Top Notch says, nice fire, Jake. Thank you. Man, I gotta find another place to record. 2018 was helpful too. Thank you. You're welcome, Cameron. Thank you very much for supporting that. Craig Kalkman says, if all lawn applications are designed to help the soil grow more life, including earthworms, doesn't grub worms also kill those earthworms? No. Grub control is aimed exclusively at grub worms. I wouldn't worry about that. Did you actually notice thatch reductions after applying dethatch? Yes, but you have to be very smart as far as planning your application, because this application is activated by heat. So the more you apply it, so when you apply it and the temperatures are warmer, that's when you're going to get the maximum efficacy out of the product. Because it relies on these activities like microbial activity to digest the thatch, you need to make sure you apply it on a warmer day. So once the temperatures get into the 70, 80 range, or as far as summer goes, 80, 90, with irrigation, assuming you're irrigating, great time to put the product down, as it's going to help digest that thatch, put it back into the soil, and feed your lawn. So hope that answers your question. It works really well, but just make sure that, again, you apply and you have a lot of heat to ensure that you get maximum efficacy out of the product. The mirror. Did you actually notice? Oh yeah, I just read that one. Cole Nathan says, what's up? I want to use aerate but don't want to upstain my sidewalk or fence. Chapin has a hose end sprayer on Amazon for $2. Would that be good to use? Better than the Ortho? Whatever works for you. I believe the Ortho is a good sprayer. Chapin's a good sprayer. Chameleon makes a good one. Whatever works for you, as long as it can fit the right amount of product to treat at least 1,000, 2,000 square feet, then you should be just fine. Because believe me, you don't want one that's like what's the best word? Pints or quarts or whatever like that, because those only treat like small areas. As next products are unavailable to us here in the UK, I've been looking for some alternatives. Do you think kelp and humic acid mixed from raw form would have been the best? Thanks. I think any form, from what I've been learning, any form of humates or humic acid or things like that, great for your soil, carbon-based, going to help build that soil, so definitely good product. I use it and help Jim. Works well. I live in central Alabama. Is it safe to spray Roundup on cool season grass without doing any damage to my centipede? That's a tough question for me to answer, because it's a transition zone. Now, centipede, it's just one of those weak grass types. I wouldn't mess around with it. I live in central Alabama. Is it safe to spray Roundup on cool season weeds without doing damage on my centipede? I just read that. I gotta get off here in a minute. Why does Grubs say it is acutely toxic to earthworms? I'm guessing maybe because it's a one of the big things about using a product like Scott's Grubs is because it's a higher concentration, it will cause harm. Whereas if you use a product like say imidacloprid, it's a little less concentrated. What's going on, FSL? Do you use iron sulfate? No, I don't. Only liquid iron on my lawn, as far as now. Always dropping knowledge, never missing a beat, a true professional. Thank you, Shane, I appreciate that. Hey, Walker, X mark, that looks like Walker. That's funny. Let's move away. Anything else before we go? FSL says, have a great night. Thank you very much for tuning in, FSL. I appreciate it. Oh, yeah. Hold on. Now, since we're approaching on the last minute and a half here, I'll go ahead and answer this last one. Kids have a trampoline. Any suggestions for cool season grass underneath? No, as far as a trampoline goes or anything like that in your yard, it's kind of like trying to grow grass under a tree. Pretty much impossible, so I wouldn't waste that time. Now, if you plan on moving the trampoline around, then I could see your rationale. But as far as planting under the trampoline, you're better off probably putting mulch or rock under there to kind of fill that in. You're not going to succeed with grass, because another problem you have to think about is you actually have to maintain that grass. You have to cut it, right? So how are you going to do that when you have a trampoline in the way? I mean, I get it. You might be able to move it and whatnot, but that's an inconvenience. And also, because it is in the shade, you're probably not going to get the best of luck as far as germination goes, because you need not only water but sunlight to help get that germination going. Big Jake, what's up, Grass Factor? How you doing? By the way, Silverback says hello. He's up there. He's up there painting the wall right now. What was that? Alrighty. The back. The back. How'd you come up with that logo? Which one? Mowing under is a pain, but I'd hate to lose the lawn under it because I'm sure we won't have it forever. Yeah, so here, what I would recommend for you right now is at least put some rock down or some mulch, especially if it's temporary, and then once you remove that trampoline, then you can focus on probably sometime in the fall doing a little aerate and seeding in that area to help fill the area back in to compensate for the bare spot. But for now, if you know it's going to be there for a while, I would definitely consider putting a mulch layer or something underneath it just to kind of, help compensate for all the dirt, because I know it can be a little ugly. I remember when all you had was a Toro weed whacker and a blower. Yeah, man. Good times. How are you so educated in lawn care? Well, when you're devoted to learning something because you're passionate about it, and you network with people in the same field as you, that's how I obtained the knowledge I learned today. Isn't not essentially giving credit to just myself, but all the people I've met, like Alan Hain, who used to be my neighbor. I learned a lot from him on how the basics of lawn care, and then got more advanced learning about people. What?
Self-educated too.
Yeah, I self-educated. Has the golf ball as the background and you on the top. Cool, classy look to it. Yeah, so how I came up with the idea for that logo was, it was in the very beginning of the channel. Like when I had not only an interest in lawn care, but an interest in golf. So I was like, how can I bring those two interests together into one logo? And hence the reason there's a little bit of a golf ball texture in my logo. So I thought it fit really well, especially since lawn care is kind of correlates into the golf world, because we have to do, a lot of us pros out there have to maintain those greens and fairways that the golfers play on. So that's what I thought was cool. What would you say is a good price to charge? Thank you for the email and working on the program as I listen to Jake. Thanks, Jake. All right, well, I guess that's going to be a great place to end it. We're way past 6 o'clock already. So I just want to say thank you to all of you for tuning in. It's great to connect with all of you guys on a personal level like this. And it's really fun to sit down every Friday and chill by the fire with all of you. More of an intimate setting, I believe. So we're going to continue doing more of these every Friday, 5 to 6 p.m. Make sure you tune in. So with that, I'm Jake the Lawn Kid. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next week in the next episode.